There are moments in life that hit you like a punch to the gut, moments that shatter everything you thought was true. For me, it was the day I found out my own parents, the people I'd poured my heart and soul into, had secretly decided to cut me out of their lives completely. This isn't just about money, it's about a betrayal so profound, it made me question everything I believed about family. I was 32, and honestly, I thought my life with my parents was rock solid. We had this unspoken rule, you know? Family above all else. They hammered it into me and I took it to heart. I wasn't just there for the big stuff like holidays or birthdays, I was there for the messy stuff too. When they needed help with bills, I stepped up. When they struggled financially, I stretched myself thin to support them. I was the good daughter, always putting them first. Boys. So, when it came to major life decisions like their will or planning for their future care, I just assumed I'd be part of the conversation. I mean, wouldn't you? That's why nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared me for the bombshell that landed in my inbox one tired evening. The subject line was so innocent, important talk. But the message itself? It was anything but. Mom just wanted me to come over the next day to discuss family matters. My stomach immediately knotted up. I called her, trying to sound casual. Hey, what's up? Is everything okay? There was this beat of hesitation before she finally said, yeah, everything's fine. Just come over tomorrow. But it wasn't fine. I could feel it. The next day, walking into their house felt off. Mom plastered on her usual warm smile, but her eyes were stiff, distant. Dad was just glued to the couch, unusually silent. We sat at the kitchen table, and the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. After an eternity of silence, Mom finally looked at me, her voice too calm, almost rehearsed. We need to talk about something important, Jess. My heart started pounding. Okay, what is it? She sighed, glanced at Dad, then back at me. We've updated our will. And well, we've made some decisions. My blood ran cold. I knew, somehow, this wasn't going to be good. Then she dropped the bomb. We've decided to leave everything to your brother, Daniel. Everything. The word hung in the air, mocking me. Wait, what? Everything? You're leaving everything to Daniel? I could barely breathe. She nodded, refusing to meet my gaze. Yes, Jess. We've talked about it. We think it's the right decision. The house, savings, everything we've worked for. My world tilted. Everything I'd been taught, everything I'd lived by, family comes first, they said, it was all a lie. I was supposed to be part of this. I was the one who always showed up. Mom, trying to sound reasonable, added, you know, Jess, we've always tried to do our best for you, but Daniel has been more reliable in recent years. He's been there for us more, and well, we just think it's time to focus on him. More reliable? My hands started to tremble. Are you kidding me? I've been paying your bills, buying your groceries, literally keeping things afloat for years. And Daniel? What has he ever done? What has he done to earn this? I just couldn't grasp it. Dad finally chimed in, his voice a whisper. Jess, we're just being practical. Daniel's the one who's going to take care of things. He's got the time, the resources. Practical? This isn't practical. This is cold. I felt my voice rising, shaking with disbelief. I've always been there. You can't just cut me out. Their silence was deafening, crushing. Mom looked almost apologetic, but it meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. I stood up so fast my chair scraped loudly across the floor. My breath hitched. I don't know what's going on with you two, but this isn't how family works. As I turned to leave, Dad called out, Jess, just think about it. But I couldn't think. I was incandescent with rage. My head was spinning. How could they do this? How could they just discard me after everything? For weeks, that feeling of betrayal gnawed at me. It wasn't just the will, it was the sheer indifference. The nonchalance. It felt like a knife twisting in my gut. And that's when I decided I had to do something. It wasn't about revenge, not at first. It was about drawing a line, about showing them I wouldn't be treated like an afterthought. I'd been paying for their utilities, their bills, a safety net I'd willingly woven for them. But if I was suddenly irrelevant to their future, why should I keep cushioning their present? So I stopped. I just stopped. If they didn't care about me, why should I care about keeping their lights on? A month went by. Barely a peep from them. Just the occasional, "How are you?" text, empty words that meant nothing. No regret. No acknowledgement. Then one afternoon my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Why is the electricity off?" My heart thudded. This was it. A rush of vindication, sweet and sharp, but also this cold, heavy guilt settled in my stomach. Did I really want this? To make them feel this helpless? I stared at the message, the words blinking accusingly. Finally, I tapped out a reply. To the point. "I thought you had everything covered with Daniel. Maybe you should ask him about it." I put my phone down, letting the silence scream. I had no idea what would happen next, but for the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of my own power returning. The next few days were agonizing. I replayed everything, wondering if I'd gone too far. Part of me wanted to apologize, to explain. But then I'd remember their faces, their words, their decision to simply erase me, and the anger would surge back. I was hurt. I was furious. And more than anything, I was done being everyone's doormat. The silence was deafening. Until another message from Mom landed, a few days later. "Jessica, this has gone too far. We need to talk. I don't understand why you're punishing us like this. We're your family. You shouldn't be acting like this." I didn't even flinch this time. My fingers flew across the screen. "Maybe you should have thought about that before you cut me out of everything. I'm not the one who needs to explain myself." I dropped my phone. My hands were shaking, but there was no turning back now. Not after all of this. More days of eerie quiet. No texts, no calls. It felt like they just given up. But I knew better. I knew something had to give. They couldn't just let me walk away. Then, one Thursday evening, my phone rang. I didn't need to look. It was Mom. My heart thudded in my chest, but I took a deep breath and answered. Her voice was quiet, trembling. "Hello, Jessica. I don't know what you want from us, but we're your parents. We've always tried to do what's best for you, even if it's not what you wanted to hear." A part of me softened, but I ruthlessly pushed it down. This was the same woman who said I wasn't reliable. I wasn't going to fall for it. "I don't want anything from you, Mom. You made your choice, and so did I. You've made it clear where I stand, so don't expect me to keep cleaning up your mess." Her silence was a physical weight. After an eternity, she finally whispered, "Please, just come over. We need to talk about this in person." The temptation was immense, to just give in and fix it. But I couldn't. Not when the anger was still so fresh. "I'll think about it," I said and hung up. I was reeling, but my resolve was firm. It was their turn to show up. The next day, another message from Mom. This one made my heart drop, but not for the reason she intended. I spoke to Daniel. "He's upset too. He said he didn't ask for all of this. He's just following what we told him." Daniel upset? My brother and I hadn't been close in years. He was always the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. Now, suddenly he was upset? Was this real? Or another tactic to get me to cave? I tossed my phone aside, feeling more lost than ever. My mind was a storm of confusion. Daniel upset? I couldn't even picture it. Later that afternoon, I needed to clear my head. I walked, letting the cool air try to soothe the chaos inside me. The sun was setting, long shadows stretching, but I felt no warmth. Just a swirling, cold storm in my gut. Then, another text. This time, it was Daniel. "Jess, can we talk?" I stopped dead in my tracks. My phone vibrated in my hand. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to keep the silence. But another part, a hopeful, desperate part, wondered if this was it. The breakthrough. Maybe Daniel actually was upset. Maybe he didn't agree. Against my better judgment, I typed back. What do you want to talk about? His reply came almost instantly. I don't want to fight anymore. Can we meet up and figure this out? My finger hovered. Could I trust him? Could we have an honest conversation without it dissolving into another awful mess? I kept walking, the rhythm of my steps grounding me. I was on the edge of something. And then another message popped up. It's not just about the will, Jess. It's about everything. I think you've been treated unfairly too. And I'm sorry. That was the phrase I'd been waiting for. But now, it made everything feel even more complicated. Should I meet him? Could this truly be a turning point, or was I just setting myself up for more pain? I stood there, staring at the message, the world feeling like it hung in the balance. A mix of emotions surged through me, but at its core was an undeniable urge to finally have my say, to reclaim control. I took a deep breath and typed back, trying to keep my voice steady, despite the storm inside. Fine, we'll meet. But I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for me. Daniel quickly sent a time and place, a little cafe we used to go to as kids. No nostalgia, just a tinge of dread. Was this a trap? Was he just going to guilt-trip me? I pushed those doubts away. This wasn't about guilt, it was about setting things right. Taking my power back. I arrived early, my nerves shot. The cafe was quiet, bathed in the soft, late afternoon sun. I picked a corner table, tapping my fingers, waiting. I wouldn't check my phone. I was in control now. Not them. Finally, Daniel walked in. He looked different. Softened. Not the arrogant golden child I remembered, but someone weary, burdened. Tired eyes, hunched shoulders. He wasn't the enemy, not anymore. Just another person caught in this horrible family mess. I gestured for him to sit. He hesitated, then did. Jess, he started, his voice barely a whisper. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I didn't see it until now. I nodded, my thoughts racing. This was it. Hold your ground. You didn't realize, or you just didn't care? I asked, my voice surprisingly steady. You've always been the golden boy. You never had to fight for anything, while I was always cleaning up everyone's mess. Always second place. His face flushed with guilt. That's not how I saw it, Jess. But I see now. You were right to be upset. They took you for granted. I didn't do anything to stop it. I studied him. He seemed genuine, but it didn't erase the years of hurt. You're right. You didn't do anything to stop it. Neither did Mom. Neither did Dad. I locked eyes with him. But you know what? I'm done. Done being the one who always sacrifices. Done being the one who cleans up the mess. I'm taking control now. Confusion flickered in his eyes. What do you mean? I took a deep breath and dropped the bombshell. I've already stopped the bills. I haven't made a single payment since I found out about the will. No more electricity, no more water, no more gas. If they want their comfort, they'll have to deal with it themselves for once. His eyes widened in disbelief. Wait, you can't be serious. They'll what? Get mad. I cut him off. They already have. But this time, it's not my problem. I've had enough of being treated like an afterthought. If they want my help, they can show me some respect first. If they don't, well, they can handle their own mess. Daniel slumped back, stunned. You're really doing this? I'm really doing this, I affirmed, the finality ringing in my voice. And you're welcome to join me, Daniel. If you want to stay in their good graces, that's your choice. But I'm done playing the role of the dutiful daughter. They don't get to push me around anymore. The air was thick with my words. He finally broke the silence, his voice softer. I don't know if I can do that, Jess. I'm still trying to figure out where I stand. I understood. I get it. But you need to know something. This isn't just about the money. It's about standing up for what's right. About having a backbone. You've spent your whole life letting them control the narrative. It's time to change that. He looked down at his hands, struggling. But this wasn't about him anymore. It was about me. I stood up, a surge of confidence flooding through me. I've made my choice, Daniel. You need to make yours. I'm not coming back to clean up the mess this time. With that, I turned and walked out, leaving him there, lost in thought. My heart pounded, but a wave of calm washed over me. I had done it. I had taken control. No more guilt. No more manipulation. It felt good. It felt right. As I walked home, my phone buzzed again. Jessica, why is the electricity off? What's going on? You need to fix this. We're your parents. We can't live like this. I read it, and a slow smile spread across my face. This was it. The moment I'd been waiting for. I didn't reply. Not yet. Instead, I turned off my phone and slipped it into my pocket. I was done. For the first time in what felt like forever, I felt free. The next few days were a blur of escalating calls and passive-aggressive texts from my parents. But I didn't budge. I held my ground. They tried every trick in the book, guilt trips, even trying to bribe me with things I'd once wanted but no longer cared about. Then, a week after my talk with Daniel, the text I'd subconsciously been waiting for arrived. This time, it was frantic. From Mom. Jessica, we need to talk. We can't go on like this. Your father and I are going to lose the house if you don't help. Please. A cold anger bubbled up, but this time, I wouldn't let their manipulation win. I picked up my phone and typed the coldest, most resolute response I could. I'm sorry you're in this situation, but I'm not going to be your safety net anymore. You've had plenty of chances to change, and you didn't. I'm done. My fingers hovered, but I knew it was the right choice. I hit send. The phone went silent. The next day, I heard my parents had called Daniel, begging him to intervene, to get me to help. He didn't. This time. He texted me shortly after. Hey, I think you did the right thing, but it's hard. I feel like we're all losing something. I didn't know how to respond to that. What I did know was that I wasn't losing anything I hadn't already lost long ago. The difference was, now I was in control. Now I wasn't cleaning up the mess. A week later, Mom called again. Desperate. The bills unpaid, power off for days. They were finally feeling the full weight of their actions. But even then, there was no apology, no acknowledgement of how badly they treated me. Just more guilt. More twisting things around. I stayed firm. No help. No apology from me. You can handle this on your own. You'll figure it out just like I had to figure things out, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. There was a long silence on the other end before she finally responded, her voice thick with frustration. I don't understand you anymore, Jessica. I let out a breath, a wave of relief washing over me. That was the moment I truly understood. This whole battle wasn't about making them understand me. It was about me finally understanding myself. And taking my life back. The electricity stayed off for them. And I was okay with that. The anger was gone. The need to prove myself vanished. I was free. For the first time in years, I could live my life without their constant demands, without sacrificing my happiness for theirs. I don't know what happened next with my parents. I imagine they scrambled, found a way to pay their bills, just like they always did when backed into a corner. But the crucial difference? I wasn't part of their plan anymore. And that was something I could absolutely live with. So here I am. And I don't regret a single moment of it. It was incredibly hard, and at times, I questioned everything. But choosing myself? It was the best decision I ever made. This was my life, my choices, my future. And for once, I put myself first. Now, I have to ask you, did I go too far, or was it finally time to stop being everyone's doormat? What would you have done?